Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. Today for Tuesday, let's take a look at the first lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from the book of Maccabees. Remember, Maccabees is one of the deuterocanonical books, the books that are written, or apocryphal books, written in between the Old Testament time and the New Testament time, and are considered to be a part of the canon of the vast majority of Christianity. Roman Catholic, Orthodox, and Anglicans accept them as canonical. So anyway, we're on the first book of Maccabees, chapter 3, beginning at verse 42. Now when Judas and his brethren saw the miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people and utterly abolish them, they said one to another, "Let us restore the decayed fortune of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary." Then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness, and there was none of her children that went in or out, and the sanctuary also was trodden down. The aliens kept the stronghold, and the heathen had their habitation in that place. And joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together, and came to Massah over against Jerusalem, for in Massah was the place where they had prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day, and put on sackcloth, and cast ashes on their heads, and rent their clothes, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They brought also the priests' garments, and the first fruits, and the tithes, and the Nazarites they stirred up, who had accomplished their days. Then cried they with a loud voice towards heaven, saying, "What shall we do with these, and whither shall we carry them away? For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us thou knowest. How shall we be able to stand against them, except thou, O God, be our help?" Then sounded they the trumpets, and cried with a loud voice. Okay, so they're getting ready to begin the retaking of the city of Israel. Remember, the Greeks have come in. They've now destroyed Jerusalem. They've destroyed the temple. They've set up false idols. They've forbidden the Jews from practicing their religion. They're telling them not to circumcise their young men, to keep the covenant with God. And so Judas Maccabeus and his father and all of his brothers have now risen up, although at this point in the book the father has passed away. But the brothers have risen up, led by Judas, and they're going to begin the retaking of Israel. But more important than the retaking of the physical Jerusalem, they are going to restore the faith of the people of the original covenant. And that's what really this story is about. And it's really quite good and rousing. So I do encourage you to jump into the book of Maccabees. If you don't have a Bible with the book of Maccabees, it's available online. I just type in King James Version, book of Maccabees, or 1 Maccabees, etc. And there will be websites that will have that on there. But they are available. So take advantage of it. And while you're in there looking at the Apocrypha, Book of Tobit, one of my favorites, it's all in there. Today is Tuesday. And not only do we have our 12:15 Mass today, but we're having a special tour group join us today from St. John's Armenian Church. Now, St. John's Armenian Church is located on the Lodge Freeway, just as you enter from Detroit into Southfield. It's just on the border of Southfield and Detroit. The reason for their visit to us today for a tour at 11:30, and they're going to stick around for the beginning of Mass at least, is that their congregation started here at St. John's. They met here at St. John's from 1913 to 1931 until they built their own building. So we're always grateful to welcome them back to join us as they have their youth group is having their week-long conference like we had last week for our St. Michael's Conference, and we are grateful. Looking forward to welcoming them today. So if you could join us, it'd be great to have a few St. John's Episcopal Church of Detroit people here to greet them and to celebrate Mass here with them watching on. So 12:15 Holy Communion, 4 o'clock evening prayer. God willing, we'll see you in church, or you can watch in on where you're watching this live stream. And may God give you a Tuesday that is full of blessings.